Have you ever sent off a prompt to a centralized AI and got back something that is just flat out wrong? I have. It recently happened to me 3 times. I'm not going to point fingers and name names, ChatGPT, but why does this keep on happening? Yes, I think it is partly a limitation on the technology, but I think there's a deeper reason, and it's all about incentives. It's well known that what you get out of a system depends on what you incentivize. Charlie Munger, the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, famously said, "Show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome." What then incentivizes centralized AI? Its ultimate goal is to keep you subscribed. It wants to hook you in for as long as possible so it can make as much money as it can for the shareholders. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make a little bit of money. That's how capitalism works. But the problem starts when it comes at the expense of other core societal values that we hold dear. Things like truth, integrity, the greater common good, and so on. I'm not the only one to have noticed that centralized AI often gets things wrong, and some have speculated, such as Rory Stewart on the Rest is Politics podcast, that developers reason that we won't like the AIs that admit that they don't know the answer, so they train them to be certain. They train them to please. How true that is a debate for another time. Nonetheless, it highlights 3 fundamental problems of centralized AI. First of all, there's problems with the incentives that we're giving them. Secondly, there's no accountability. The only accountability they have are to the ethics boards of the companies that build them and their internal boards. And thirdly, there's no transparency around the incentives and the accountability that govern these AI apps. So where then do we look? Regulation? Governments move too slow, and this tech moves too fast. I think that battle is always lost. No. All we need is a system that incentivizes the behavior that we want. If we want AI to be accountable to a transparent set of standards, then we need to financially reward those that do and punish those that don't. Where are we going to find this system? Well, one already exists. It's called Yuma Consensus, and it lives on the Bittensor ecosystem. To understand Yuma Consensus, or YC, let's look at what's going on in the centralized world. When you use ChatGPT, you're trusting that a billion-dollar company is scoring the quality of its own work and honestly rewarding the engineers that built it. It's like playing a soccer or football game where one team is also the referee. You just have to trust them to be fair. Yuma Consensus is the opposite. It's a decentralized scoring system. Think of it as a fully transparent and automated referee. And the best way to understand it is to use the analogy of Bitcoin. On the Bitcoin network, miners are rewarded for one thing: solve a math problem to find the next hash. It incentivizes them to bring loads of raw compute power to the network. Yuma Consensus is the extension of this idea, but for intelligence, not hashes. It's the mechanism that allows the Bittensor network to reward any work of measurable quality. So this could be training AI models, it could be providing really fast image generation, it could be offering decentralized and secure storage. If the work is valuable, the network should reward it. So how does it actually know what good work is? This is where the magic of the Yuma Consensus kicks in. The Bittensor network is made up of a whole lot of specialized markets called subnets. And within subnets there are 2 key players. First of all, you've got the miners. Their job is to do the work. They run the AI models, provide the compute, and then you have the validators. This is a community of peers whose sole job is to score the miners. Validators are continually interacting with miners. They might send an inference request off to a miner so they can then judge the quality of the answer, or they may review a piece of code that a miner has contributed. They then assign a score between 0 and 1 on how good that miner is. Yuma Consensus is the algorithm that aggregates all of these scores. It's the function that takes all the validator scores for each miner and condenses them and consolidates them into a single fair payout for each miner, according to the value that it's adding. It then decides who gets rewarded with Tau, the native token. But here's the clever part. Yuma Consensus just doesn't score the miners, it also scores the validators. Remember the problem from the first half of the video, incentives? Yuma Consensus financially rewards the validators that are in consensus or agreement with the lion's share of the validators. If a validator tries to go rogue by just rewarding its own miner or trying to penalize some of its competitors, the Yuma Consensus will spot this discrepancy and will do something called clipping, which is reducing that validator's ability to pay out rewards, and its own rewards as for being a validator will also be reduced. In this way, the Yuma Consensus penalizes economically bad actors and those that are acting maliciously on the network. This system is critical. It creates a self-optimizing network where the only way to earn is to be honest and accurate. Yuma Consensus is the key difference maker, and frankly, it's why the whole experiment matters. It ensures fairness, no single entity controls the scoring, all validators' opinions matter, and bad actors are cut off. It ensures decentralization, decisions are spread across hundreds of validators globally, making the network unstoppable. No single lab shut down or ethics board can turn it off. And thirdly, it aligns incentives. Rewards flow to the miners that consistently prove real measurable value, and not just to the CEO that has the biggest funding or controls the most GPUs. When you put it all together, Yuma Consensus is the trust layer that allows decentralized AI to scale. It's the foundational mechanism that allows a global, permissionless network of computers to decide on what good is and reward it appropriately. So the next time you send off a question to centralized AI, remember who it's accountable to, the CEO and the shareholders. On the Bittensor ecosystem, thanks to the Yuma Consensus, the AI is accountable to a globally distributed, transparent, and financially enforced set of value-stated goals. And that, I believe, is the only way forward for a true and accountable artificial intelligence. If you want to dive deeper into the technical documentation for Yuma Consensus, I'll leave links below. And let me know in the comments if you've had a similar flat out wrong answer from centralized AI and what you think about incentivizing AI to be a little bit more honest when it doesn't know the answer. If you've found this video useful, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It just helps other people like yourself find my content. Okay, that's it from me. Till next time.